Welcome to the Film Junket podcast.
Cheers, guys. Whoa. It's weird because my computer, I have an iMac desktop, and man, I just had a memory. I'll share it in a bit, but and I have an iMac, and when I play audio files, because I always play my theme song just to get me, a little more jazzed up. It's not. I mean, obviously, when I put it together, I just put it in the track for the entire track of the podcast. But I'd listen to it just to just get the feel for that, because it's a show. It is. You got to feel that theme song. And so it opens with iTunes, of course, and then it just automatically goes to like the next whatever track that it can find. And sometimes it's just audio tracks from videos that I've did. This is literally one called Alien-4. I'm not sure exactly when I recorded that. Something to do with Alien. And if you heard a little because anytime, you want to sync audio, you got to do a loud noise, a clap, that's why they use the film slate, to marker, to get the audio and the video synced. So every time I record a video, I clap twice, just to make sure that it's all nice and synced. And, sometimes it doesn't happen. There's always rare occasions where the audio fucking sucks or it just doesn't sync. Something got fucked up, so I have to use the camera's audio and it sounds all echoey. Ugh. That's how I used to do things before. It's crazy, and like I said, when I always like to give advice to anybody who wants to do YouTube and whatnot. It's not an easy job. Everybody, of course, there's people who criticize stuff like this and everything like that. Just say, "Oh yeah, it's easy. Just fucking do it." Yeah, no, it's not that easy. I mean, you really have to do like trial and error shit. You really got to figure out like what is given the best quality. I mean, even my videos aren't the best quality. I'm using an old camera, at least 5 to 6 years old. I mean, it only records up to 720p, I believe. It's just yeah, it does. I don't know why I said believe, but yeah, I need to upgrade my camera eventually. But I mean, it's good enough for what I do. I'm not trying to do anything too extravagant, and cameras are expensive and money. Oh boy. Well, first off, when I said I have a memory about an iMac, when I used to do the tech stuff, I was doing a live podcast with two other dudes that were in the tech field. And this is when I really started going, you know what? This is not for me. It really isn't for me, because you're just going to get it everywhere. You're going to get it everywhere. When I did it with these two guys, one guy I knew a lot and we used to talk a lot. And he, I was very much in the Android stuff, and so was he. And we used to talk a lot, and we started this podcast. And then he brought in this dude who lived in the UK, and this guy did not like me. He did not like me at all. And I remember I mentioned, I just told him like I have a Mac, and he just said something like, "Well, what is it? Is it a MacBook? Is it?" And it was just the tension was so high because he just didn't like me. And it's, and I got a lot of comments from, the in-between dude. And then eventually they just stopped fucking contacting me to do it. And I'm like, good, because I didn't like that guy either. He very much thought his shit didn't stink. And that was a lot. I mean, that's just with everything, I guess you could say, because, even in this kind of fandom movies and, comic books and superhero stuff, you just get those people that just think that their shit does not stink. And for some reason, when I come in there and I start cracking jokes and making, light of just a lot of things and not taking everything too seriously, You fucking uptight assholes don't like it. I'm sorry, but that's just that's my game right there. We don't need to take this shit too seriously. Okay? We're just talking about other people's accomplishments. That's what we're doing with everything. You know? That's what it is. Is it easy? No. You got to find your niche. I don't like niche. Niche is, I hate when people say niche. Niche. You got to find your niche, and you got to just, what's your strong side? My strong side is just talking. That's why I'm trying to do these live streams and live, in these podcasts more, because me just talking, that's what I'm more comfortable with. Like doing this is a lot more comfortable than doing a video, because, with a video, I write it out, and then I spend time writing it out. And then sometimes I just go like, I don't know about this and this, and I second guess myself and that shit. By the way, guys, I'm drinking a white wine, Pinot Grigio. I need to change it up. I think next week I'm going to get a different kind of wine. Because like I said, during the week, I'm drinking wine. A couple glasses. Not every night. But, today especially, before this, I did have 2 shots of vodka. Yeah. So, and then I had some dinner. So don't think I was actually on a pretty good, when I was writing the video that I actually recorded tonight that'll be up tomorrow, that's about a certain trailer that a lot of people aren't happy with. Yeah, that's right. Click into the Film Junkie tomorrow, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I think some of you probably already do. A trailer that came out recently that has, it's not a CBM trailer necessarily, but kind of is. So I recorded that. I wanted to write it tonight, and then before I ate dinner, I just was like, I had kind of just a disappointing day, which I'm going to get to in a bit, and took a couple shots, and then I poured myself a glass of wine, and I hadn't eaten anything since probably around 2 o'clock, so fairly empty stomach, and I went, okay, I got to eat something, because halfway through the glass of wine, when I was writing out my video, I'm like, man, I got a fucking buzz. And an empty stomach buzz is different than just a normal buzz. It really is. Like, your whole body just feels, woo, a little loopy. I don't necessarily like it. I'm not a fan of the empty stomach buzz. I'm not going to lie. I like something in my stomach, and, it just feels better. Like I have that relaxed feeling now. It's not so much too buzzery. But, just feeling good, sipping the wine, talking to you guys. This is what's fun. This is like really fun. I don't get stressed out. Basically, all I do when I do these podcasts is, I'll put up bullet points, like what I want to talk about, like almost like a little sheet of just like, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about. So, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing scripted out or anything like that. But I was gonna update. Yeah, why today sucked, guys. It has to do with my surgery. Yeah. Sadly, I can't just go hey, surgery was a success. It's been over 3 weeks. I'm pretty much healed up. My wounds, the little surgical glue that they put on me as opposed to stitches, which is great, have pretty much, the glue is chipped off. Now, it's just, I do have a little scarage. Each, the 3 incisions, just, they're a little hard underneath, so I don't know if that's going to end up going away. I'm probably going to get they were supposed to actually call me. The hospital was supposed to call me, and they said into like 2 weeks, hey, we're going to call you, and we're going to do a checkup, bring you in, and make sure everything's good. Never got a call, as far as I know. I do get random phone calls from a bunch of fucking, I love that my phone says scam likely, so I always ignore it, but I never got a message. So I think they just said, fuck, whatever, routine surgery, he's fine. Like I said, appendicitis is such a fucking weird, funny thing. So it is interesting, the fact that my buddy that I was roommates with at the time had one. And, I was always going, what if that happened to me? What if that happened to me? And I always every now and then I'd think about it and kind of worry. And then eventually I had one, It is so funny too, because I actually talked to him tonight, my buddy, because I had to ask him something, which I'll get to. And he said his mom had one, and so did my mom. It's so weird. And so, I mean, we even asked the doctors, like, is it like a hereditary thing? Can it be? And they said they really didn't have an answer. They said, yeah, it can be, but not necessarily. There's never been really any, like, much evidence that supports it, but there's been some. I don't know. It's funny. It's weird. So, yeah, if your mom had appendicitis, be worried. Don't worry about it. It's routine surgery. You'll be fine if it happens. But the aftermath is the fun part. So get this, guys. I gotta take a sip of wine with this one. You guys know, sorry, got my little tablet right here alerting me on things. So you guys know that basically, I've updated you on this podcast, especially that, I recently went back to the job I had previous to the last job I had, if that makes sense. I was working at a place and it was slowly going under, but it was nice for a minute there, but then things just went to shit. And then my old job that I had previously hit me up and said, hey, we want you back. We're offering you this. Please come back. And they offered me something nice. And I said, okay. And went back and everything. And, since I've been back, it's been pretty much a shitstorm because there's a lot of people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And people they brought in, me and especially this other guy, were like, all right, we got to clean this shit up. And he's very much been the leader, and I've been his like go-to guy. Like, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. In the field that I work in, with this telecom stuff and designing and making sure like these companies can like run their fiber cables and whatnot and their conduits certain places, or whether it has to be up on poles or underground. I could just pretty much either design it or basically just every aspect of it I can do. Not everybody can, which is nice because that makes me stand out, makes me valuable, because I was open to just like teach me everything. And that's what you got to do. If you're in a field, don't just stick with one department of it. A lot of people do that. A lot of people just sit there and go, hey, you know what? I only know this. This is my job. This is what you hired me for. Okay? That is not my job. Fuck you. I hate it when people say that. I don't like that. It's not my job. It's not what you hired me for. Fuck off. Your job is here to help this company progress. Okay? So learn. That's what life's about. Learning. That's the approach I took when I jumped into this field. Yeah, there's many times where I even thought, not my job. Fuck that. And I had to like slap myself in the face. Be like, what the fuck you doing, bitch? Stop it. Learn. Learn this part, learn that part, and that's what I did. And that, because what that does, it creates value. And that means they're not going to get rid of you. Okay? Companies all the time have to downsize. You never know when that's going to happen. Sometimes it does. And if you know a lot of things, you're very, very valuable. Guess what? You're not even going to be on the list of consideration. Just something that, it's just some advice to give. Learn as much as you can. If you're working for a company, even if the company sucks, you hate your boss, I get it. I've had shitty fucking bosses too that I would love to see, get fucking hit by trucks. Yeah, I get that. But I'm still like, hey, teach me this part. Teach me that. Teach me this. And that's what I did. So I created value for myself. And it looks really good on the resume too, guys. Yeah. So, anyways. With most companies, when you start, they give you like a 3-month trial, which means you don't have any paid sick days, vacation, and health insurance. Health insurance. Oh, God. I'm taking another sip. Okay, so I started at the end of June 25th or 26th, one of those 2 days. That's when I started back. So pretty much September, at the end of September, was going to be my 3-month it. But for some reason, I had it in my head that I started in July. I don't know why. I thought it was July, but it was actually June. Okay, so with the craziness that was happening, And then talking to the other dude, like I said, who's been like leading the fight to just, hey, you know, let's fucking fix all this shit because people have been fucking these things up. He let me know like at the end of September, I think the beginning of October, he's all, oh yeah, your 3 months are done. And I was like, wow, yeah, you're right. But when I went to, you know, look into the program that we, you know, that has all our shit, all I looked at was, oh yeah, there you go. I have vacation time starting to accumulate and I got 3 sick days. Sweet. Didn't think about checking the health insurance. So I think you guys know where this is heading, but, yeah, so didn't even give much thought. Didn't get anything to remind me. That's one of the factors here. But so then, of course, yeah, naturally, over 3 weeks ago, my appendix decided to say, "Fuck you, Dave! I don't like being inside you anymore." So decides to give me some shit. Has to get removed, and yeah. And I had to stay overnight at the hospital, get an ambulance ride, the whole 9 yards. So when it came time to, hey, do you have insurance? I thought, yeah, of course I do. Sure. You know, they must have. And then I go like check because I can access, you know, my employee stuff on my phone. I look and I go, oh, fuck. And then I'm even contacting, you know, because it was Monday morning. Obviously people are at work in my office, so I went, okay, I need a contact, and yeah, pretty much they're saying like, you're not covered right now. So pretty much I was not covered with health insurance, and this is what fucking sucks, guys. Well, I'm gonna say good things and bad things about the health coverage in the U.S. and just all that stuff, because obviously that's always a big debate when it comes to politics and everything like that. And it's so fucked up because, yeah, I mean, both sides are just ridiculous sometimes when they have their claims, especially the left. I mean, well, the left's just been crazy for the past 5 years. It's fucking been crazy. So when it comes to our healthcare system, if you have something like, say, an appendicitis, and you have to get surgery, or even anything else, they're not going to turn you away. I know you'll see occasionally, every now and then, you'll see like a video that somebody posts. It's the same thing with the whole racist cop thing and the racist everything thing. You know, occasionally you'll see like a video, and then people go, see, fucking America, racist, just the worst country to live in. Yeah, that's why everybody wants to come here. But that's like one out of, I mean, if it's like a constant thing, then you see videos every fucking 12 seconds if it was a constant thing. But it's not. So occasionally you'll see like, oh yeah, you know, the hospital turned this person away because they didn't have health insurance. Yeah, that super rarely happens. Okay? If you're going in there dying almost, in pain, this, that, and this, they are going to help you. Doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. They are going to help you. I'm not saying this is like a 100% thing, but most of the time thing. Because before they even asked me if I had health insurance, it was pretty much the next day that they really started asking me about it. After I was okay. They started asking me about my insurance. Okay? And then I realized, wow, I'm not fucking covered. So the next day, my dad was there with me. And he tried to, like, you know, go to the billing part and see if he can help and see if he can find anything about it. You know, turns out I make too much with a lot of the things that are for California. So I was like, okay, we'll figure this out. So, of course, you know, now it's 3 weeks later. I think last week, probably like, you know, a week ago, I get the bill for, because I went to one emergency room and they had to transfer me to another one. For reasons I'm not going to go into, but it was literally like 4 or 5 miles down the street. Almost $1,200, guys. $1,200 fucking dollars to transport me to the other hospital. What the fuck? For 4 or 5 miles? I looked at it. They literally charged me a night charge. There's something called a night charge. They picked me up at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning. Assholes. Sun was up. Bullshit. It's so weird. And you know what? My mom could have easily taken me. If I knew it was going to like cost this much, I would have said, okay, taking the IV out, me in the fucking shirt with the backless thing, I would have held it and walked out and be like, my mom's going to take me. You're good. Apparently, she also asked if she could, and they said no. Of course not, because they want to charge me up the ass. And I was all doped up on morphine, and I was like, wow, cool, I get to ride an ambulance. Never done this before. And yeah, I wouldn't have fucking, if I thought I was going to get charged almost $1,200, I would have said, fuck off. So, there's that. So, yeah, found out that it wasn't covered. My company was actually supposed to send me, there was an automated alert that was supposed to send me an email on my work email to let me know that I need to go into this program and, activate my insurance. And it's funny because when you go in there, for the last time I worked there, it shows that, but it says inactive. So I was like, fuck, maybe that's the reason why I didn't get this automated thing, because they thought it was automatically waived. And, it was coming towards the end of the year, and I'm thinking, okay, you guys got to realize I've actively avoided trying to go to the fucking hospital, because who wants to do that? The place sucks. Fucking hate hospitals, man. They smell funny. It's a certain stench in the hospital. I hate it. I don't even understand how people work in a hospital. It takes a certain type of person, and I respect the absolute shit out of people that work in a hospital, especially after the 2 days I was, at these hospitals. I respect people that do that shit. They deserve their time off, because they do get lots of time. They can get lots of time off, but they work a shit ton. They'll work like 24-hour shifts. They work long, long shifts, paid nicely. And then, of course, then they'll have 3 or 4 days off, which is fine. Good for them. They need to. The shit that they have to deal with and being on your feet and just having to do all that, I don't know how they do it. It takes a certain type of person. I wish I was that type of person, but I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person that speaks into a microphone and sips wine. Anyways, so, yeah, I'm just like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm getting advice from people and everything. And finally, on Friday, I get a phone call. Finally get that phone call. This is after I already got the bill for the ambulance from some lady that goes, hey, you recently this, that, and this surgery, hospital. Do you still not you don't have insurance, right? And I said, no, fortunately I was not covered. This, that, and this. I'm probably going to need help. And then she and as I tell her, and then I go, and then she asks some information, and I go, which was specifically, how much did you make in November? And then she does her little thing, goes, okay, well, you qualify for hospital financial assistance. Okay, so there's that. I'm like, oh, really? I qualify for that? And that was like a sigh of relief, because before that I was trying to contact the main HR woman that works in another state, and trying to see if they can backdate me, whatever, because I'm all set for 2019. Yeah, I'm going to have nice insurance for new 2019, but I don't have it right now. So I was like, okay, let me contact her and try to get the information before I call this lady back. But then when I call the lady back, she goes, okay, hey, guess what? You're all right. You're going to be, we're going to give you some assistance here. Whoa. And then, so I was like, cool. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a little break here because I was getting a phone call. Anyways, what was I talking about? Anyway, so the health insurance thing. So yeah, I get a call for that, and she goes, "Yeah, you just got to come in here next week. We'll work with you. You got to bring November's pay stubs and your ID." So cool. All right. So I did it today because I was just swamped with shit on Monday, then Tuesday. Just busy. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go Wednesday for sure, because that'll be I'll be fine. And so I go in there, and they meet with me, I fill out this application, and then this lady like takes my stuff, and then she goes back, and then she comes back, she goes, yeah, you were denied. We can't help you out. And I'm like, what do you mean? The woman on the phone told me, she assured me that I qualified. She goes, well, yeah, we can't really determine that until we see the paperwork and this, that, and this. And I'm like, well, why did she tell me that? I started getting pissed. I was like, she shouldn't say that. And then she didn't have an excuse. And then she literally just like stood up because it was like behind glass. And she just like, I'm sorry. And then just wanted to walk away. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're telling me that you're going to assist me over the phone. And then I show up and you go, well, we can't do anything. You guys got to realize, you know what my bill was for surgery and staying overnight at the hospital? $39,000. Oh! That's a nice car. You realize that? That's a nice car. Not even just like a economy friendly, hey, let's get a Civic or a fucking, let's get a Ford Focus. No, that's a fucking nice car. $39,000. For an overnight and surgery. Yeah. And no insurance. And I don't qualify for any help because, sadly, with my normal job, I make too much. So, that was a kick in the pants a little bit there. So, I'm just kind of like, oh, man. So, now I'm going to have to contact whoever's got my bill, try to do a payment plan. I've had people tell me, like, well, just beg, work with them. They'll work with you. They'll knock off the price. There's many things. But see, well, what I was talking about with the U.S. health system, it's like, this just shows you that if you need help, most of the time, probably 97% of the time, even if you don't have insurance, they're going to help you. I mean, one of the main reasons why they charge so much is because they get dicked out of a lot of things because there are people that just can't do it. People are here illegally. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Because I know people that are, nurses, they work in hospitals and stuff like that. They get it all the time. They'll get people that are illegally here and they still will treat them. And then they just end up really not paying their fucking bill. That's just the way it is. Oh, yeah, U.S. healthcare sucks. It's not as good as Canada. Yeah, well, I know people who live up in Canada, and yeah, they're glad that they have universal healthcare, but they say the healthcare is not that good. I mean, like I said, the next day they were trying to like, hey, do you have health insurance? This is after they were like, hey, we got you. You're handled. As much as it sucked because I was a waiting game, but I got it. I get it. It wasn't life or death yet with me because my appendix hadn't burst. So you had, surgeries that you had to do before mine because I wasn't as crucial. I get it. As much as it sucked about waiting, I get it. I'm not going to complain. For the most part, I can't complain about anything because if I would have waited, hey, guess what? And not went, hey, guess what, guys? I'd be dead. So I can't fully complain. So I'm going to figure out that, guys. It's just kind of a kick in the pants, but I'm trying not to stress out about it too much. I mean, obviously when I left there and driving home, I was a little bit like, fuck, and just fuck. That's why I was like, ugh. I mean, I kind of just sat on my couch and went, geez, what am I going to do? And then I contacted my friend who also had appendicitis, and he didn't have health insurance. I wanted to see how he dealt with it. And he gave me some good advice and stuff. So, and then I took 2 shots of vodka and I said, okay, we're good. So yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, guys, enough about that. How about that Aquaman? How about that fish guy? Fish boy, whatever the fuck. No, just kidding. The LA premiere was tonight, and it was great because Jason Momoa showed up and wearing just like a wife beater or tank top. Somebody got mad that I said wife beater. Hashtag me too. Time's up. Yeah, sadly, that's what we're in. Somebody got kind of like, why'd you say wife beater? That's what it is. He was wearing like a black tank top, wife beater thing, but of course he had a jacket over it. But when he did his little, when he did the, I forgot what kind of ritual dance thing that he did. You know, something from his, of course, his homeland, like Hawaiian and stuff. He did that. He also broke another trident. Jason Momoa keeps breaking these fake tridents that are not durable at all. It was great. And I actually forgot because I told somebody, I think it was yesterday or today. Oh, no, it was today. That, you know, there was a Screen Rant article by Mr. Steven over there, who's a good writer over there. Very much supports the Snyder Cut. Yeah, me and him have been under fire for kind of just going like, what the fuck with some of the parts with the Snyder Cut, which I'm actually going to get to in a little bit. Some of the new shit that came about with, you know, people involved and stuff like that. But he wrote an article that was basically about how, you know, pretty much Snyder and Warner Brothers are done with each other, but Momoa keeps on mentioning Snyder, which is it's absolutely fantastic. He keeps on mentioning Zack Snyder. Anytime somebody talks about taking up the role, he always goes, hey, Zack Snyder. He even said, in an interview that the fact that he is where he is now is all due to Snyder. Okay, it's all because of him. It's all because Snyder wanted to take a slightly different approach. You know, depending on what version of fucking Aquaman you're reading. Yes, if you're going to look back to the Super Friends version and the first versions, sure. But there's some versions, you know, where he has the long hair and the beard. Yeah, he might still be a, like, white hair, blue-eyed devil, but, you know, Snyder went, hey, let's get this Hawaiian dude. It just makes sense, and it did. You know, I'm not always privy on the whole fucking race-changing thing. You know, because obviously way back when, you know, it was a bunch of white guys creating white heroes because that's just what happens. You know, you can't blame them for that. Whatever, you know, you want to say whatever. Shut the fuck up. It was a different time. Can't erase that. Jesus. But, you know, when they forcefully change either gender or race, sometimes it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't work. But sometimes it does. In Aquaman's case, 100% worked. Big time. It just did. It just does. So, you know, that's good that he keeps talking about it. And, you know, I'll get back to the fire stuff. But, yeah, the LA premieres tonight. And I told somebody earlier because the article about Snyder and stuff like that, because Jason Momoa won't let anybody forget about it. Snyder's not there. I thought the LA premiere already happened, but it didn't. And as far as I know, I didn't check my Twitter feed. But Snyder's not there, even though he's a producer. Okay? Now, a lot of people are having difficulties, especially with that article, stating that, oh, when the fuck did Warner Brothers say they were done with Snyder? Well, he moved out. He's no longer got an office on their lot. He moved out. He's built an office at his home, which is great. Okay? Has he posted anything about it? He keeps posting about building. He doesn't post anything from that fucking office anymore. I could be wrong. All of a sudden tomorrow he's going to post from that office. But it's just kind of funny because it's like, fuck Warner Brothers. They fired him. They pushed him out. Fast forward to today, you know. What the fuck? When did Warner Brothers say that they were done with him? It's like, come on, guys. Let's be consistent here. Okay? He moved out. The relationship is not that great. It isn't. And from what I've heard, yeah, they're done. Should look something, yeah. Snyder no longer has first look deal. Look it up, what that means, first look. Which is good. After all he's been through in the past 5-6 years, he needs to break from Warner Brothers. He needs to do his own thing. Now, does that necessarily mean Fountainhead and Last Photograph? I don't know. Maybe not. He might be coming up with some more original shit. Because Last Photograph and Fountainhead, not exactly original. I know Last Photograph's supposed to be a World War II story. But is it based on something? I think it is. But that might not be his next project. We'll see. I'm just going by what I've heard. So, yeah. Don't get mad about that. That article was mainly about how Jason Momoa keeps on bringing up Snyder. No matter what. Even Amber Heard has brought up Snyder. So, yeah. And, like I said, even in my video about the embargo lifting, I mean, it's still sitting at, 74, 75%? That's good! Doesn't happen. I mean, it happened with Wonder Woman. We knew that was going to be the case, though, because, the future is female! But yeah, people are enjoying it. Even like the backhanded compliments. Like, yeah, I mean, it's, can you believe that this DC movie's good? Yeah, I hate that shit too, guys. Don't think I don't. It's like, just fucking say you liked it. There is an expectation with DC. It's very strange, what these guys do. Because, well, like I've said before, I mean, it's mainly because of Batman and Superman. Nobody can touch those. No other superhero can touch those two. And the fact of the matter is these fuck boys didn't like necessarily, well, they're coming around with Man of Steel, and it's going to happen on Batman vs. Superman, I think. They just didn't like how those movies played out because it wasn't their version of those characters. It wasn't what they wanted. So, yeah, so they hold DC to a higher expectation. It's very weird. And I think it also has to do with the Dark Knight trilogy, They look at Marvel and they're like, yeah, this is the popcorn superhero fun stuff. So they're like, yeah, it did what it did. I had fun. But then they look at DC and go, okay, you got to impress me a little bit more than just fun. So they hold it to a higher standard. It's dumb. I get it. But I think that's just what's going on here. They just hold it to just a higher standard. And we should be flattered as DC fans that they do so. But the fact of the matter is, you guys don't have to fucking, quote tweet angrily. These tweets giving these guys attention, as well as giving articles traffic. I get sick and tired of seeing that. That's what pisses me off is like, today I saw so many of the same bad review that somebody tweeted out, and then the same bad headlines that somebody tweeted out, and I'm going, guys, 75%, 25% shit on the movie big time. It's good. As much as I hate the Rotten Tomatoes scale, I'm going to use it right now because I have to. Sadly. Like I said, I like to look at the average rating, which last I checked was like a 6.4 or something like that. I don't know. It's not bad. It's better. Better than most. This movie, I mean, what else do you guys want? Movie's kicking ass already. It's already over $100 million in China alone. And more people are seeing it. It hasn't released in the States yet. It's going to have legs. I predict it's going to get more than 700 mil, I think. Could be more. I hope it is more. Looking forward to it. So, what more do you want? Stop dwelling on the bad reviews. That's the thing. I just hate it when people are like, just go, fuck this guy. It's like, that's his opinion. And the fact that if he's going over and above and beyond to like voice this ridiculous opinion where he says stupid shit, it's because he knows that angry fans are going to retweet him and give him more attention. You're falling into his game. You're falling into their game. The headlines too. They want traffic to their site. So they're going to put these crazy headlines because they know fans are going to angrily quote tweet and spread it around. They're looking at the analytics on their Twitter and going, look at this! Jesus! So many engagements! Look at that! Look at our fucking views! You guys are falling into their trap. Screenshots. Okay? Unless you directly want to say something to the person, then fine. But usually, like when these people have a lot of followers, they're not going to answer you. It's usually the smaller followers. when they have a small group of followers, they're going to answer you because they'll see it. Other than that, screenshot. You could angrily quote tweet all you want, but screenshot. Stop driving traffic and attention to these people. You're falling into their game. This is exactly what they want. And people don't seem to realize this. Because everybody wants to quote tweet just to fucking pat themselves on the back to everybody. Like, look what I did. I showed this guy. No, you did not. He showed you. You just gave him attention and drove traffic to his site. Stop doing that. Just ignore it, especially when the majority of people are enjoying the movie. And I get it. There's some backhanded compliments. It's ridiculous. It's like they want, some of these critics wanted to hate it, but they ended up enjoying themselves, which just shows you right there that, hey, as much as they wanted to hate it, they still didn't. Because I guess the movie's that good. Can't wait to see it. Then we got Spider-Man and Gyllenhaal. I love that Gyllenhaal is... now I'm going to the other side now. Sorry, guys. But anxiously awaiting that new Spider-Man trailer, which I know keeps on getting pushed. Another thing about that, when it comes to when trailers going to come about, I'm here to tell you guys, this is just from my perspective, okay? You can either take it in or just say, whatever, Dave, shut the fuck up. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you feel. I'm just trying to give you what it's like, what's going on the inside of all this stuff. I try to be as transparent as possible. I do, I really don't have a filter, guys. I mean, mainly when I'm talking to you guys, I'm sipping on something. So, of course, I'm just going to say it. I talk to scoopers. I talk to guys within this community. A lot of them are good guys. I know it's like evil bloggers, evil critics. I get that. And they want to get information and give out that information as much as possible. So when some of these guys, even the scoopers, Scoopy Pants and whatnot, it's like, it must suck, because sometimes you wonder, like, are they making this shit up or not? And I think sometimes they do. Certain people do. Some people do. But some of these guys are just contacting sources and then they're giving out the info that they're hearing. Okay? Sometimes it ends up not being right. Or, oh yeah, hey, trailer's supposed to release this date. And then they decided not to. And now they're going to push it to this date. And then, of course, everybody just goes, yeah, see, this motherfucker wrong. He sucks. He's a piece of shit. Fuck this guy. And we're just going, well, he was fed that information. And then I kind of go back to, well, that kind of happened during Comic-Con where there was information that was being fed that Snyder was going to be there and there was going to be an announcement. And then I said, no, that's not going to happen. And I got a lot of hell for that. And then I said, yeah, there's some wrong information that's getting brought out. Got a lot of hell for that. And they got a lot of pushback that said, like, well, that's what this person heard. And I guess they got wrong information. We shouldn't shit on this person. And I'm like, well, that's what we do with these fucking scoopers all the time. But they're professional, Dave. Are they? I don't know if they are, really. But, it's just funny. It's like, okay, so it applies here, but not applies here. Gotcha. Okay. That's the way we are. Because, I've gotten some inside scoops about, especially recently with the CCXP and trailers that are coming out there. I kept hearing, like, okay, there's supposed to be a trailer this day, this, that. Oh, it got pushed, And then people immediately just go, oh, yeah, he's wrong. Fuck that guy. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so that's interesting. So, but, I got some hell recently, too, because I quote tweeted somebody because I thought they had a ridiculous tweet. And it was a ridiculous tweet because they said the only way that we can communicate to Warner Brothers that we want the Snyder Cut is if we boycott Aquaman. And yes, that is a very fucking stupid tweet. It is stupid. That doesn't even make sense. Oh yeah, so we're gonna boycott this movie. We're not gonna support Jason Momoa. And you know it's funny because some of these guys are all like, "Dad, did you hear what Jason Momoa said? My God, he talked about the Snyder Cut. He keeps praising Zack Snyder. Fuck yeah, I love that guy. But I'm not gonna support his movie." What the fuck? Really? So you love him for what he said about the Snyder Cut, but you're not going to support the movie that he's starring in. Okay! Makes a lot of sense. But they'll turn it on us like, oh yeah, well you're the ones that are the hypocrites because you want, what? No. We're supporting Jason and James and everybody else who are not part of what happened there. So, and then I got a lot of pushback. Not a lot, but, you know, probably like 5 or 6 tweets where people quote tweeted or whatever the fuck. Because, you know, that's what we do. Because they want to pat themselves on the back for their 212 followers. That, hey, I'm going to show this guy up. You know, and they kept on saying, like, what? You're saying we? As if I haven't done anything for the Snyder Cut movement. Nothing. I've not done anything. I got called a leech and just got called out by numerous people. And I'm like, wow, these fucking guys that, you know, that keep saying this kind of stuff that, oh yeah, there's no we here. You're just trying to fucking write the coattails and whatever the fuck. They have such an adolescent way of thinking, such a childish way of thinking. I mean, these are the same fucking, I mean, when they were kids, they were probably pissed when, like, you know, their friend got more chocolate chips in their cookie than they did. He got, and now they're adults and they still act like this, which is really sad. You know, that, oh, I'm just writing the coattails of this whole thing, you know. It's not, you know, who cares that I've done video after video, try to get information after information out there. You know, I was trying to do my part. They said, you know, these guys keep on thinking that I've not done nothing but criticize everybody who's done things for the Snyder Cut movement now. You know, and I've said many times on this podcast as well as in, you know, some videos where it's like, you know, I totally, when it came to the letter writing campaign and the phone call campaign, I was like, I'm not taking a part of that. I don't think that's doing anything. To me, it didn't seem like a way to voice my opinion, to communicate to Warner Brothers that, you know, that it was going to work. I just didn't feel like that was the case. I was going to take part of that. But, you know, for the past over a year now, I've been trying to get out information in the videos. Like I said, I've even helped get out things that I didn't even take credit for because I'm not that kind of person. I don't need credit for all this shit. I'm just doing my thing. You know, like I said, there's some things that I like that I could easily probably like, hey, but I'm not going to because it was supposed to be, hey, I'm just going to help get this thing out there. I don't need to take credit for it. Fuck that. Who cares? But there are some people out there that just like, I need credit. I've been doing so much. And you're trying to steal my credit. No. We all are doing our parts. Okay? Not everybody took part in the campaigns with that. Okay? Just like not everybody is writing long breakdown articles and videos like I've said, you know. Not everybody's doing everything. But there's some things that we're all doing, like donating and stuff like that. We've all done that. You know, and the hashtags. Of course, it's been claimed that I don't even use the hashtag, which I don't. I don't use it like a lot, but I have. Anytime that I felt, okay, release the Snyder Cut hashtag, I'm going to put it here. Cool. But I don't do it like every day. And usually the people that are like coming at me, that's all they're tweeting about is nothing but the Snyder Cut. And I'm just like, that's cool. That's your thing. But my thing, I'm all about a lot of just movies in general. So I'm going to just not tweet about that. You know, I'm not 100% about it. But, you know, when I want to talk about it and I get information about it, I'm trying to get it out there. So there was a whole big stink about that. And, you know, and again, A certain person also, who comes around, shows up in my mentions, and I'm like, this guy. I invited him on the podcast. I said, hey, come on. Let's get out from behind the keyboard. Show your face. Hear your voice. Let's talk it out. Civilly, that's what I would like to do. Of course, got turned down because, when you get to a certain point, all they think is you're trying to make money. You're trying to sell t-shirts. You're trying to just get views. And like I've said many times, before, I'm like, well, okay, if you come on my podcast, whatever the video makes in 30 days, I'll match it and donate it to Snyder's suicide prevention campaign. So whatever, I'll screenshot it and then match it and put it in there. So you have no excuse. None of these guys have an excuse, but they're fucking pussies. They don't want to come on this thing. And I hope that me saying that would actually, hey, you gonna call me a pussy? Well, fucking hey, I'll come on there. Well, come on! Bring it, you fucking pussies! Jesus Christ! You can talk shit all you want. That's fine. If you think that makes you look good, come on my fucking podcast. I've put it out there many times, even directly to these fucking assholes, and they still don't want to fucking do it. And like I said, all money in 30 days. When that 30 days shows up, I will screenshot what that fucking video has made. I will match it and donate it. And even within that month, because I have a Snyder shirt on my Teespring. If somebody sells it, if a shirt sells, I'll donate that money as well. So you have no excuse, except you're a fucking pussy. And they won't. And it's fine. Because part of me is like, I don't have the time. But if you want to come on here and say and criticize me and say I'm doing shit wrong, bring it. I'm all for it. Come on. Wasn't I trying to transition to Spider-Man and Gyllenhaal? Jesus. That didn't really work too well. But whatever. All right. I just like the fact that Gyllenhaal is having some fun with this stuff with Tom Holland. They're doing their little their little videos. It's funny. I think it's great. Because Gyllenhaal was almost Spider-Man at one point. I mean, he almost was. It's crazy to think. And now he's, one of the villains. Which apparently they team up at first, and then I'm sure he goes bad. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm curious. All right, let's answer some questions. I'm almost an hour into this thing, man. I tell you what. All right, let's see. Film Junket Podcast. Like I said, if you want to ask a question, just hashtag Film Junket Podcast. Easiest way for me to do it. So I can find your stuff real easily, like right here, even though there's ads within the hashtag of showing dogs on surfboards and shit like that. What the fuck? Aww. A two-legged dog? Why'd you have to show me that? I'm sad now. Jesus fuck. All right. Here we go, guys. Bat Guy, the Batsy, at the Batsy, said, why Zack Snyder wasn't at the Aquaman premiere? Okay, this is what I said. Him and Warner Brothers are no longer in a great relationship because of everything that happened and the fact that for the past year, he keeps posting stuff about his cut. They're not happy about that, guys. Okay? You're going to see Zack and Deborah Snyder as producers of these movies. And people seem to can't realize this, that yes, it was in his contract because he created this universe. He cast these characters. He created these characters pretty much. Well, from to the live action. So he's always going to have a producing credit. But yeah, he's not going to show up at these premieres or anything like that because he doesn't have a good relationship with them anymore. It's just the way it is. That's the way it is, guys. Tevin asked me, Dave, would you be doing a review of Krypton, and do you think Aquaman could reach $1 billion? I think, yeah, Aquaman very well could reach $1 billion. I don't know. I mean, right now I'm thinking it will just 700 to 800 million, maybe passes 800 million. We'll see what happens. I don't know about $1 billion, but it has the potential. You never know. Seems like it's taken the world by storm. And I still gotta watch Krypton, and maybe I'll give my thoughts about it. Dom at True DC News. Thoughts on how things progress now with Aquaman's success? I see Warner Brothers willing to invest more in DC films, maybe greenlighting some of the films in development. Yeah, I totally see that. And I think we'll get answers on the whole Cavill and Affleck thing as well. So it's all up in the air, man. I think they're really waiting on what's going to happen with Aquaman. Because you got to think about it. It's like, they're literally like, okay, it's like, Man of Steel, cool. All right, little divisive, but it made the money. Cool, we're going to have Batman and Superman fights. This is going to be the biggest superhero movie ever. And it was, but it was very divisive. And yes, that movie should have been $2 billion because it was Batman and Superman. I'm pretty sure that they were harking on that thought. It was like, hey, this is going to reach $2 billion. But it didn't because it didn't play out like people wanted it to. And then Justice League came along and they tried to change shit. And then it was a complete mess. But before that, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, same thing, complete mess. But it still made a lot of money. And then Wonder Woman came out and it was just universally praised and made a lot of money. And then Justice League came out and it bombed big time. So now Warner Brothers is going, okay, we got to look at this. We got to look at our fish guy, literally our fish guy, to fucking see if this is gonna do something. So yeah, I think it's gonna help a lot with future projects now, with Aquaman being successful. Charlie Snyder Cut JL. What are your thoughts on the glorious miracle in Miami? What? I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Is that a fucking movie that's coming out? Shit. Okay, hold on. I'm going to type that in right now because I'm really intrigued. Miracle in Miami. What is this? Oh, yeah, okay. You're talking about the football play? Is that what's going on? That crazy football play against the fucking Patriots? Where it was like pass and then they kept on shuffling it back to other players and they scored a touchdown. Yeah, that was awesome. That was an awesome play. I think that's what you're talking about. That's what happens when I typed it in Google. So hopefully I answered that question. That was great. And it's funny too because I have Drake on my fantasy. But last weekend, I'm on a bye because I'm in first place in my league. So I was on a bye week for the playoffs. So I didn't get to get his points. But hopefully he does good stuff for me this weekend. Mr. Claytalian. Thoughts on Crisis on Infinite Earths coming to CW next year. As excited as I am, I can't help but feel this could have been the DCU's Infinite War after 10 years with cameos from I know, it could have been something huge. They're doing a lot of stuff over there on CW. I still have yet to catch up on things, but luckily I already know a lot of things because people have been live tweeting every little thing about it. But, that's naturally going to happen. I got to catch up. I've been very much on top of, Titans, really enjoying Titans, but when it comes to the CW stuff, I'm not on top of it. I've been seeing clips, though. There's a nice little homage with the Batwoman stuff, but people were shitting on it too. They're like, this looks like shit! She's walking up to her suit and looking at it just like Affleck did in BVS. I'm like, well, this should be flattering. It's CW. Don't expect a lot, but they're paying homage, again, to Zack Snyder. Stop shitting on it, guys. Jesus fuck. I don't have to be angry about every little thing. Majin, Gaku, Black. How excited are you for Glass? It's my most anticipated film of 2019. And ironically, and to my delight, it comes out early January. I know. This was so great. Oh, no, I'm so excited for it. Like, I've always been a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, he kind of veered off and did some shit movies, but he's come back. I thought The Visit was great. When I saw that, I thought, wow, good. I think he's finally starting to come back. He did something a little bit unique. And then when Split came out, I was enjoying the shit out of that movie. And then when I found out at the end that it was connected to the Unbreakable universe, I mean, like I've said it many times, I literally shot up in my chair and went, oh! And my girlfriend at the time, who was sitting next to me, and she didn't know what the fuck. A lot of people looked at me, and because I was so excited, I'm like, oh my God. And I had to explain to her because she never saw Unbreakable. And I thought, oh my God. So yes, glad I'm gonna do my top 10 anticipated films of next year, and you better believe that Glass is in there. I'm not sure what's at yet. I got to figure that out, but it's in the top 10 for sure, man. Steve-O. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Do you think they bumped up the release date for Wonder Woman 84 to release the Snyder Cut in 19? Okay, you're to release the Snyder Cut in November 2019. You're going by this guy that keeps on tweeting some of us. He tweeted at me. I didn't see it, but he tweeted at me in November, and then he tweeted at Wong Swenson, and he tweeted at Fiona too. As far as I know, that information is wrong. I haven't heard that from my source. He could be making that up, or, there's always a percentage that he might be right. But right now, I'm not thinking that's the case. They bumped up. They didn't bump up the release date. They pushed it back. You guys got to realize. Yeah, when you say bumped up, they didn't bump it up. Wonder Woman 1984, it sounded like I said 94, 84, was supposed to release next year in November, but they bumped it to 2020. Right? Am I wrong? No, they bumped it, right? They pushed it back. So they didn't bump it up, they bumped it back. I don't know why they did that. I don't know. It's interesting, but no, as far as I know, there's still no information about them releasing the Snyder Cut a year from now, or a little less than a year from now. It just seems a little strange. Adam, the Movie Jam. Hey, Dave. What non-CBM films are you most excited for? I'm excited for Jordan Peele's Us. Yeah, so am I, because he's showed he's a great filmmaker, even though we haven't seen anything yet. Yeah, I'm excited for that. There's a lot of, we can't sleep on the original movies. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of... Glass is one of them, obviously, that I'm looking forward to. We can't sleep on the original movies, too, man. As much as, my channel and stuff revolves around these big superhero movies, when I came up with the Film Junkie name, and it's just because I loved movies, I'm not one of these... one of these guys that knows every little fucking nook and cranny about comic books. As much as I grew up with them, I know a lot, but I don't know. Some guys know so much. It's crazy. And I just kind of go, whoa. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, But, I know a lot, especially Batman. Superman. Flash. Yeah, so, But Jordan Peele, anything that guy puts out, I'll watch it. That's for damn sure. The King CF of Worlds of DC. CF the King. Is it really so surprising that the most powerful man in the world is a figure of controversy? Who the fuck are you talking about? You're not talking about Trump, are you? Is it really so surprising that the most powerful man in the world? You're not talking... I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I really don't. What are you talking about? I hope you're not talking about Trump. who knows what's going on with that guy. I know there was a lot of things with today. Of course, I've been accused of being a Trump sympathizer. I've also been called a Nazi, stuff like that. Well, it's simply because I'm not one of these people that subscribe to a side, especially when it comes to this. And I've said many times that, there's some of my family that's conservative. And some people might find it a shock that it's actually my Mexican side that has been more conservative and even voted for Trump. And I've literally had people that told me, hey, better watch out. Trump's going to come after your family. And I'm like, no, he's not, because they're here legally. Because people there's some people that just can't decipher between illegal and legal immigration, that they just think that, anybody that's not white, especially Mexican, anybody brown, Trump is like, get out. But it's, I'm kind of like, well, no, he's just talking about people that are here illegally, But I've, of course, been called a Trump sympathizer. I'm just, I'm just one of those people that, he says a lot of dumb shit. He's got a very big head. I don't really necessarily like the guy sometimes. Sometimes when he, says shit that just, stirs up controversy, I think it's hilarious. I really do. Some of the stuff, I've seen videos, speeches and stuff, I just laugh because I'm like, holy shit, he said that. Because I think people, especially with this PC culture that we've developed, and the fact of the matter, everybody's so fucking sensitive and should just, relax. You're an adult. Shut the fuck up, please. You're ruining everything. You really are. Because, look at what happened with Kevin Hart. Look what happened with Kevin Hart. This just shows you now it's not all about white guys. Yeah. It's now about all guys. No matter what your skin color is. My God. The Kevin Hart thing? Jesus Christ. Within 24 hours, he was announced that he was going to host the Oscars. Then journalists dug into his tweets, pulled out tweets from 9 years ago that sounded homophobic, a comedian, and then he dropped. The Academy wanted him to apologize. He wouldn't, which I'm glad. He stood his ground, all 5'3" of him, whatever the fuck he is. And he stood his ground, and then he got dropped. So I commend, because I've always been like, sometimes Kevin Hart annoys the fuck out of me in his movies, because he does. Even though in Jumanji, I liked him. And then even the new movie with Bryan Cranston, he looks like it's not going to annoy me as much. I'm actually looking forward to that movie. He stood his ground, and I totally respect him for it. I'm glad he didn't apologize for his tweets. I love that. But that's where we are right now, and it's fucking ridiculous. But it just shows you now it's really just a war on men. And Nick Cannon, who I don't think is funny, who I think is talentless, I'm not a fan of his, but I totally was a fan of his when he called out Sarah Silverman, Amy Schumer, and somebody else, some other female comedian, who posted homophobic tweets in the past. Oh, Sarah Silverman? My God. She's done so much shit, but she gets a free pass because she's a woman and because she tweets constantly against Trump, and she's batshit crazy. I still remember when she was like, oh my God, there's Nazi signs spray painted in the street. Look at it. Look at it. And me being in the field where I've actually spray painted myself, markings in the street because my company had to dig to run conduit there. Utilities go in there and they put their markings, and that's what it was. It was a utility marking, and she thought it was a swastika because that's how far she's gotten. I still like her comedy, Sarah Silverman. I've always liked her comedy, but she's so far left. And even Amy Schumer, same thing. I liked her comedy before, but now I can't stand her. They've just transitioned to this crazy leftist fucking mindset, and they won't be touched. They won't be touched. They could have said the most crucial, racist, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever shit in the past, but they will not be touched. Unlike the guys. Because there is a war on men right now. There really is. Guys are like sitting on their hands going, oh my God, I better not fucking say anything. I better not touch. Even if I touch a shoulder, I might get a sexual harassment suit. Oh man, it sucks. But it's always reassuring too, especially at my job, and I'm glad at my job, I have women that are like, think it's all ridiculous too. They think it's ridiculous. Even my HR girl, I've talked to her, and she don't care. And that's good. I'm glad that the HR girl at my place, who's a little cutie pie. Oops. Shit! Oh, man, I should probably delete that. She don't care. Yeah. It's just, it's gotten so crazy now. I mean, it's made me not want to be in a relationship almost. Or going on dates. It's like, well, what if this girl just goes, he was totally this, totally that. Look what happened to Aziz Ansari. He had a bad date, and it turned into a whole big thing where he almost, his career almost got ruined. Chris Hardwick was in a bad relationship. His career literally got ruined. He's starting to come back up now. I mean, it's nuts. And it also takes away from the actual predators out there. It's the boy who cried wolf. It's that story. It really is. Because if you're just going to claim like harassment or blah, 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 because you had a bad date or this, that, and this, and a lot of that's happening. You're going to claim this and that. I mean, companies now will refuse to have holiday parties because they're afraid of anything that could happen then. There are big companies that are like, hey, don't have a one-on-one, lunch meeting with a woman. Don't do that. Have somebody else there. So, hey, congratulations to the women out there. We're going by your rules. We're trying our best to just sit. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson got thrown under the bus for harassment, which is not going to stick because, well, from what I heard about the claims, it was all bullshit. All fucking bullshit. Like, all stupid shit. It was, like, so weird because it was, like, stuff that was, like, really? They're going to get him for that? That's nothing. And then one woman said she was drugged and can't remember the night. Like, it was a fucking Cosby situation. I mean, literally, so many women came out for Cosby, and there was actual proof of that. And then this, like, one woman out of, like, the four that were trying to go for Neil deGrasse Tyson are claiming, like, oh my God, he tried to do this. He drugged me and this, that, and this, but I can't remember. And, like, really trying to pull that against Neil deGrasse Tyson. Wow. Fuck you. Fuck you. Meanwhile, you got a bunch of women, posting, sticking their ass out on Instagram and making money off of it. Tons of money, too, by the way. Guys can't do that. I'm going to try to do that on my Instagram. I'm just going to post a picture of me wearing a Speedo, sticking my butt out, see what the fuck happens. I guarantee you it's not going to be the same thing. Good God. By the way, when my TV's on, it's on mute right now. And there's a commercial that had the kid doing the string dance. When I see a kid doing that, I'm like, that kid's gonna be gay. No, I mean it's such a weird dance and such a like what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean I know fucking Zach Levi does it in the fucking Shazam trailer and this, that, and this. And even with him, I'm like, I hate that dance. I fucking hate it. What is it? It's not a dance. You're just doing weird stuff. I hate that dance. I really do. I fucking hate it. I don't like it. My God. Someone's going to probably get me on what I said about string dance and use it against me. So that'll go with a check mark, being a Trump sympathizer, a Nazi, an apologist, an opportunist. Oh yeah, I've been called an opportunist too. They call it everything under the sun, I guess you could say, being in this field. It's interesting, but whatever. You know, when it came to the whole, like, the we tweet, wow, we hunting wabbits. I only gave it a thought that day, really. I haven't really given a thought till now, you know. I look at the tweet the couple of tweets that I sent out about it, and everybody was like, well said. Majority of people were like, well said, good job, yeah. We all do our part, and that's the thing. When it comes to the Snyder Cut movement, we all do what we can. You know, if you want to help out, whether it's doing the phone call thing, the letter writing thing, and, you know, these guys that say I constantly shit on that, I don't remember really making, you know, shitting on that part. I just said that I didn't think it was going to really do anything, so I'm not going to take part of it. I'm going to do my thing by just doing the videos and the podcast and getting information out there. That's what I do, okay? And, of course, not everybody who takes part in that part is going to do what I'm doing. I have a significant following, so I'm going to get out that information to that following. That's my part. I'm not going to take part in that, but I'm going to take part in this. I'm going to donate, which I did earlier this year. I went to the suicide prevention walk. Of course, it should have been better than it was, but I was having a really bad day that day, and it was just so, you know, I posted a couple pictures and then just, you know, felt awkward and left. And I've said that many times too. Oh, God. Sorry, something's just coming on my TV right now. I'm like, I can't watch that. So, you know, it's just a lot of things. You know, we all have our parts. You know, you guys just like doing a hashtag and putting some information out there, whether it's retweeting a breakdown article about something, whether it's retweeting one of my videos or somebody else's videos, fucking Chris Wong's videos, somebody else's videos. And I know Fiona has been doing some videos too. Whether it's doing that, you're doing your part, okay? That stupid-ass fucking tweet that came about that said the only way to communicate with Warner Brothers, or, you know, the big way to communicate with Warner Brothers is to boycott Aquaman, is fucking stupid. Fucking retarded. The past year, there's been nothing but these hashtags and, you know, people tweeting at Warner Brothers and whatever the fuck. And making videos and writing articles. Everybody's doing their little part. Okay? And if you think that people are like trying to ride on your fucking work, nobody's trying to do that. Anytime that I've praised what people have done with the Snyder Cut, like the banner thing, because obviously, like, I was like, at first, I even said, at first I thought, I don't think that's a good idea because you're just trying to match the people who did the rehire James Gunn billboard. You're trying to just outdo them. But then at the same time, I'm going, well, that was at most, like, pretty much 90% of that money went to the suicide prevention. So that's a good thing. And even when like the Ben Fritz article came out, you know, I said, you know, the article could have been way worse. And then I asked Ben Fritz, why didn't you include the fact that the fundraising and this, that, and this? And, you know, DCU fans, Snyder fans paying for underprivileged kids to go see Black Panther and stuff like that. You know, I've mentioned that. But apparently, according to some people, I'm not doing my part. I'm not doing my part. And like I said, the offer always stands. You guys that fucking hate my guts and talk shit about me and say all this shit, come on my podcast live. You know, no keyboards. You got your webcam on, get your fucking beautiful face showing up, your voice being heard, and let's discuss this shit. And like I said, the day that gets posted, 30 days later, I will screenshot what that fucking podcast made. I will match it and donate to Snyder's Fund. So you have no excuse. Because that's what I always get. Oh, I'm not going to help you fucking sell shirts, or I'm not going to help you sell views. Well, you're not. Because that money, plus the money that I'm going to put up for it, is going to go to Snyder's campaign. So, hey, let me know. All right, guys. I've talked enough. 120 minutes. Woo. But I appreciate you guys listening and clicking in. And as always, I love you. And I will talk to you later.